Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to do a sous vide video, and I will be making skirt steak sous vide for some burritos. And I found that I really like this method for it because it makes the steak so tender and so just easy to chew that I really prefer it this way when I'm making burritos or tacos and stuff like that. It just makes it a much more pleasant eating experience. So I've been able to get a pre-pack, before the butcher, dishes it out, basically. So it's basically a butcher pack of the skirt steak. I'm going to use about half of this today. It's about 3 pounds, and it winds up being a super large piece of meat, as you will see here in a moment. So anyway, first thing we're going to do is just take this out of the package, portion it up to what we want to use, and then I'm going to use my homemade taco seasoning. I'll include a link on how to make that in the description. It's just a regular old recipe that I got from All Recipes. So as you can see here, it's a very large piece of meat. It folds open into a gigantic long strip. So pretty big piece of meat here. Obviously, I'm not going to use all this in one sitting unless I'm cooking for like 10 people or more. So I'm just going to cut this in half about. I'll still have plenty of leftovers. And then we're just going to work with this beautiful, nicely marbled slab here. Okay, so the next step, all we're going to do is just season it up with some taco seasoning. I suppose you could use pre-made stuff, but I really think that this taco seasoning I make my own spices is outstanding. So we're going to get both sides here. Cover it not too much, just enough to season the meat well. And then next I'm going to get this in a vacuum bag, and my bath is waiting for me at 133 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to get this vacuum sealed up and then drop it in there, and I'm going to wait about 2.5 hours. One of the techniques I do like to share with people is that rolling the edges up on the outside of the bags can be helpful in not getting any spice or juice where you want to do the vacuum sealing. So I figured I'd share that with you here. And put it in. As you can see, we're good to go. And let's get this vacuum sealed. I like to keep it on the dry setting. Gets a really good, nice, tight seal. Okay, we're good to go for our bath time. Okay, as you can see, we're at 133 degrees, so we're ready to go. Just drop it in and get all that underwater, and I'll see you in about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to saute some vegetables for my burritos. You can make fajitas, whatever. Basically, I chop up a whole bunch of onions, yellow, red, and orange bell peppers, and I mix them up with a little bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. Heating up the pan. I'm going to throw some olive oil in there. And once that's ready to go, just dump the veggies in for a little while, move them around once in a while. And that's pretty much it. Let it simmer for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes or so, and get back to the meat. Okay, once they start to look like this, they're pretty much done. One thing you can also do is dump a little bag juice in there, which I may do later. But now the next step is just doing the final sear on our skirt steak. So I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, our 2.5 hours is up, and the meat is very nice and tender, very well cooked. So let's get it dried off. And you can obviously use whatever you want to finish this. I'm going to finish this on my flat top. I can also heat up the tortillas and things like that, so that's always a good thing. Alright, we'll get this nice and dried off, and I'm going to take you out to the grill next. Got our Blackstone fired up pretty well. Gets a little bit of oil on here, not too much. We're going to do some compressing. So yeah, when it's piping hot like this, maybe do it 2 or 3 minutes aside. Okay, once you can start to see brown coming through on this other side, means it's probably done. So, give it a flip and look at that beautiful caramelized meat. Wonderful. Make sure you get a lot of surface contact. Alright, check and make sure it's done. You can usually see it's nice and caramelized on the other side, which it is. So let's bring this inside. Let it rest a couple minutes and then we'll be good to go. The meat's been resting here for a little bit. It actually looks a little more dark in person, but it's got a nice crust on it. And the thing with skirt steak is very, very important is that the grains go like this. So you want to cut perpendicular to the grain. So I usually just kind of cut at an angle here, and as you can see, cut it real thin, and if the pieces are too long, even then, just chop them in half again. But as you can see, some pretty nice meat, nice and fatty. Tender, oh, perfect. Oh, that's so freaking good. Tender, perfect. They're going to be amazing in these burritos. So, another thing you can do is cut it with the grain in a small piece, like this, and then cut it up perpendicularly if you want smaller pieces that way. Same thing. Anyway, pulls apart probably. Yeah, delicious. Well, anyway, I'm gonna throw these into some burritos. I guess I'll show you what that looks like.
Okay, so I usually like to mix up the steak in with the vegetables. Throw that on the burrito here. Add a little tapatio sauce for a little spice. A little queso fresco, a little bit of cheese. I like to add sour cream and other stuff too, but this is what I got today. Bring it in, fold the edges up, and roll it over and you're done.
Perfect. Let's cut her open and take a look. Yummy meat fajita burritos. Anyway, I'm going to chow this down. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.